Welcome to the FCS Tour for Saturday morning. Well, another 3-1 week last week for Chris. He's on a roll with these FCS selections. Incredible record through the years. And we got 4 plays for you today. Now, a quick note for you. On the main tour that we did on Thursday, I had Clemson as the number 1 play. Tell you what, the lines dropped to 5. Klubnik, no Klubnik. We are sticking with Clemson in this one. And, there's one of my things, another little handicapping tidbit. It's called what I've called through the years, and it has come through so many times, is the quarterback injury system. When a major player like Cade Klubnik, who's listed as questionable, let's say he's out for the game, okay? No problem for a couple of reasons. First of all, the line drops, which it has. It's all the way down to 5. Second reason is the rest of the team plays a lot harder to compensate for that. And the opponent may be like, hey, guess what? The star player's not in. And the third thing is generally the backup is pretty good and is able to play well. And in Christopher Vizina, he is a guy that is a big kid. He's 6'4", 210. He's a good thrower. He can make every throw on the field. He's a good runner. He's been in the offense for 2 years. He was a PS number 7 quarterback coming out of high school. I've got all the faith in the world in him. So we get a little extra line value in this one. And the play is still very much intact. I like Clemson minus the 5 over, and there's even a minus 4 out there right now over SMU. And that's Klubnik or no Klubnik. We're still sticking with Clemson, so just thought I'd clarify that. But let's get to those FCS plays, and as you know, I've got these 2 teams here, but you guys got to love East Tennessee State. Some of you guys probably buying East Tennessee State gear right now. Will Healy's doing a hell of a job there. They've been a staple for us on the tour this season. They've covered as underdogs against West Georgia and Mercer for us. Last week they were minus 16.5 and absolutely destroyed VMI 45-10. With a 509, look at this, 509 to 82-yard edge. Now, VMI's only touchdown came on a pick 6 in that game. Now, the Bucks are 3-4 and plus 13 points per game. So that's pretty good there. And that even includes this plus 13 yards per game, excuse me. That even includes minus 501 against Tennessee. So if you take that out of the mix, look out. Now, we've also gone against UT Chattanooga twice on the tour this year in 28-point losses to Tennessee Tech and Tarleton State. Earlier this year, we noted that Chattanooga lost 14 players to FBS rosters and would be way down this year. The Mocs are 2-4, and while they are minus 37 points per game, or 37 yards per game, sorry about that, the number is skewed due to their blowout win over Stetson in the Pioneer. You see they were plus 413 in that one. The Pioneer League, by the way, is a non-scholarship. In their other 5 games, they're minus 126 yards per game. And they only beat that same VMI team 21-14. And in that game, they're only plus 83 yards. See, they were plus 427. ETSU has played the tougher schedule, number 41 against number 60. And if you go here to the logs, we do have schedule strength here. So we can see, what numbers did I say here? I got 41 against 60. So 41 is East Tennessee State, and 60 is Chattanooga right there. All right, let's go back to the menu so we can use that when we're going to use it. QB Camden Orth has thrown 7 interceptions and only 5 touchdown passes this year. And ETSU is number 41 in our pass D rankings. We also have pass D rankings here. And if we take a look, and let's see, what number did I say here? 41 in our pass D rankings. This is East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State. Are they any higher? East Tennessee State. East. Come on, where would you be? Oh, there they are, 44. Just missed them. So they weren't 41, they were 44. And they are tied for number 1 in the SoCon with 9 interceptions. So he feels that they're going to get some interceptions here. Meanwhile, ETSU has 2 VHT quarterbacks. They've got Cade McNamara. I remember him from his days at Michigan and Iowa. And Jacoby Criswell. I remember him from the FBS as well. And while UT Chattanooga is number 84 in our pass D rankings, ETSU is only minus 5.5 here. And the computer has ETSU 35-25. The AGG has ETSU by 8. And the last 4 weeks, you know I love the last 4 weeks, 79.2 versus 67. We only give the FCS a 2-point home edge, so that would be by 10 for ETSU. We've been on the right side of both these teams' games. ETSU's the better team, laying under a touchdown. We are going to stick with the Buccaneers here this week, minus 5.5 over UT Chattanooga. All right, I actually got a total for you. We'll click on that. It is South Dakota against Northern Iowa. Let's see what we got in store here for this total. South Dakota on the left. I know when I said we had a total, you're probably thinking Monmouth over, but it's actually not the total this week, guys. It's a different game. South Dakota, come on. FCS team pages, and we're going to put Northern Iowa on the right here. There's Northern Iowa. All right, let's see what we got here. Last year, head coach Bob Nielsen led South Dakota to an 11-3 record. Oh, South Dakota's over here. Look at that, 11-3, lost to Montana State in the playoffs. And the Coyotes reached the FCS semifinals, losing to Montana State. Nielsen retired after the season, and South Dakota promoted their 6-year defensive coordinator, Travis Johansson, to the head coaching job. Now, South Dakota only has 8 starters back, but was still a preseason top 10 team. They lost their first FCS game to Lamar right there, but have won 4 of the last 5, including a loss. One of the losses being to North Dakota State. North Dakota State's a pretty damn good team. Number 1, by the way. And I want to show you this. I've got the AGG. I was just glancing at it this morning. Keep in mind, the beautiful thing about the AGG is that it does not have any starting point for a team. So no matter who the team was, in other words, you would think that it's got North Dakota State number 1. Okay, well, it probably had North Dakota State number 1. No, prior to the year, everybody's 0. The only thing it takes into account is the opponent and what you've done against the opponent. So North Dakota State's a legitimate number 1 because they have performed the best of all the teams. And if, let's say, Penn put up the same stats against the same opponents that North Dakota State had, they would have a 99.84. There is no grade for the team, only for their opponents, what they do against the opponents, both yardage and points. So North Dakota State having a pretty good year. And these rankings, look at this. Austin Peay's not even in the top 10 of the FCS right now, but we got them number 3. Might be a team to keep your eyes on. That seems to me to be an underrated team. But let's get back to this. The Coyotes have 2 strong offensive performances, and they were against, make sure we got the right team. Yeah, there it is. They were against Drake of the Pioneer League and Murray State, which allows 45 points per game. Against the other 5 foes, they averaged just 15 points per game. Last week, South Dakota put up 19 points against a weak Indiana State team and only won 19-14. Northern Iowa's 24-year head coach Mark Farley retired after last season. Todd Stepsis is the head coach after leading Drake to the FCS playoffs the last 2 years. The Panthers are 2-4 this year and minus 46 yards per game. The under is 6-0 to the under in Northern Iowa games this year. As you can see, they've all been low scoring. UNI's offense is averaging just 14 points per game, you see there, and 311 yards per game. And that's 55 yards per game below opponent's average, by the way. They scored 1 touchdown in their last 3 games, 9, 7, and 3. So they're taking on a pretty good team over here in South Dakota. And odds are they're not going to score very much. The defense is allowing, though, just 24 points per game, 357 yards per game. A lot of time when you don't have the talent other teams do, you play a slow-down game, and it seems like that might be what they're doing here just to stay in the games. They actually hold their foes to 8 yards per game below their average, so that's impressive. And look at this, South Dakota's offense, minus 6 below opponents' averages. Last week, they only allowed 31 points and held South Dakota State to 24 yards below their season average right there. Holding them to 31 points is pretty good. South Dakota State's explosive. Both these teams are strong on defense. The computer only has 38 points, calling for South Dakota to win 22-16. We like to ride streaks. And UNI unders are on fire. We're going to go with under 48.5 in the South Dakota Northern Iowa game. All right, got 2 others for you. And we will start off. We got Campbell at home. Let's go to the FCS team pages. And we're going to click on Campbell. And Real quick, if you do go to the Phil Steele store and you'd like more FCS information, we do have a magazine for you, but you have to go to digital editions for this one. And when you go to digital editions, there it is. The FCS magazine is right here, $25. You get 2 full pages. It's laid out the exact same way the FBS magazine is. You become an instant expert on all of these teams. All right, so now let's get this one. We got Campbell against New Hampshire. Let's get New Hampshire on the left here. And New Hampshire. Let's see what we got rolling in this one. There's New Hampshire up there. All right. New Hampshire is the Wildcats. Campbell is the Fighting Camels. All right. Last week we won with Campbell -3.5 over Hampton. The Camels finished with a 426 to 207 yard edge and 138 to 21. Running back J.J. Cowan right here. Let's see if the individual stats are updated. Cowan had 142 yards. Hadn't done much all year. 142 yards last week. That's nice. On just 16 carries. They also had Ethan Lawrence here, had 80 yards. So they got a couple of running backs emerging. That's a nice plus to have. And once again, you get the individual player stats. You want to go back and see how they did last year? They're there. And all this FCS information, we've had it all these years. Red, color-coded, green, and red. We did start doing individual player stats, by the way, in 2018, so we only have them back to 18. But I'm sure that covers your needs. Anyway, backup quarterback Mike Chandler came in last week for them. They, of course, have Camden Sixkiller as their quarterback. Chandler came in, hit 12 of 14 for 161. The thing about Chandler, if you go back and look at the individual player stats, is he did start their games last year. He started the last 5 games. So even if it's Chandler at quarterback for Campbell, we're in good shape. This guy has starting experience for them. And he had a 12-6 ratio. Right here, you see 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So quality quarterback. Now, New Hampshire's 3-4 this year under fifth-year head coach Rick Santos. They started 2-0, but have lost 4 of their last 5. New Hampshire's last 2 wins came over Albany, right here, which is 1-5 this year, and Holy Cross, which is 0-6 this year. Last week, they lost at Rhode Island 38-27. Campbell also lost to Rhode Island 31-20 in the opener. But Campbell is 2-5 this year, and we said last week they are better than the record. Campbell is -36 yards per game. Oops, Campbell. All right. -36 yards per game against the number 21 FCS schedule. New Hampshire is -46 yards per game against the number 57 schedule. The computer only has New Hampshire winning 30-29. The last 4 weeks AGG is where we're headed here. You've got the last 4 weeks play. New Hampshire is 62.8. Campbell is 68. And Campbell's a home underdog here. They're getting 3.5 at home. So, in the last 4 weeks, throws away the start of the season, only counts the last 4 weeks. This becomes really valuable, especially now. You're basically throwing away almost half the season, and it's only count what you're doing the last 4 weeks. So, the last 4 weeks has them at 62.8, them at 60. That's 5.2 plus a 2-point home edge. That says Campbell winning by 7.2, and they're a 3.5-point home dog. We won laying 3.5 points with Campbell last week. Now we're plus 3.5 at home. We're going to ride the Campbells for our last 4 weeks AGG game of the week. All right, and for the final one this week, we're going to click on what we have here. We have Lindenwood is at home, so let's go find Lindenwood and find out about them. Anybody know their nickname? I don't know. How about the Lions, the Lindenwood Lions? And let's see what Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech's familiar to me. Oh, yeah, they've got Bobby Wilder. We've been using them all year. Last week's schedule strength of the game won with Campbell. And this week's schedule strength of the game week is Lindenwood. And once again, if we go to schedule strength, FCS information, schedule strength, we find that Tennessee Tech has played our number 124 schedule. And Lindenwood has faced our number 30 schedule. So that's a big plus here. All right, so Tennessee Tech head coach Bobby Wilder has turned the Golden Eagles around quickly. In Wilder's first year at Tennessee Tech, they had their first winning season since 2011. He brought in some experienced transfers like Ethan Washington's Kikoa Visperas this year, and they've dominated competition. They are 6-0, and they are plus 267 yards per game. Last week, Tennessee Tech was -30.5, but only beat Charleston Southern 27-13. Now, Lindenwood is 3-3, but they've won 3 of their last 4 games, so you like that. I like to see a team in good current form here. And according to this, if you look at the last 4 weeks, by the way, 85.3, 72. You add 2 to that, that's 74. That'd be a 11-point difference. They're getting over 3 touchdowns here. They're getting 21.5. And that includes a 30-13 win over UT Martin last week. 2 of Lindenwood's 3 losses were against FBS foes. So they lost to App State and they lost to Miami of Ohio. And this season opener's loss against St. Thomas was a misleading final. They had 3 really short field goals and in the first half, and they missed 1. The yards were even, and they lost by 22. Now, Tennessee Tech's clearly a better team. They're ranked number 8 in the stats per form, top 25. But they've been blessed with one of the weakest FCS schedules, as I mentioned. Their opponents have combined for just a 6-26 record. Lindenwood has played the number 30 schedule, including 2 FBS foes. Going back to last year, Lindenwood won their last 5 home games, including an upset over Stony Brook last year. This is Tennessee Tech's 3rd road game, and they didn't clear this 21.5-point spread in either of those games against teams that are weaker than Lindenwood. The computer has Tennessee Tech 35-20. The AGG says Tennessee Tech by 14. Last 4 weeks only says by 11. Lots of reasons to play the underdog here, so we're going with Lindenwood plus 26.5. Well, there you go. Make sure you check out the tour that I had for you. It's got 6 selections, 6 quick hitters, and NFL play. If you haven't checked that out already, there's your FCS plays for this week. Let's hope Chris continues his remarkable role on these FCS plays. And thanks for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour.